On behalf of Project Self, United Consciousness, I, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, welcome all of you in this global celebration of United Consciousness, International Week of Peace. UNESCO, in its constitution, writes that war begins in the mind of the man. And that's why even the constructs and defenses of peace also needs to be built in the mind of the man. Peace is our birthright. Three kinds of peace. My peace with myself, peace within me. Second, peace with the people around me. And third, peace on the planet, in the world in general. But due to limited identities, it appears that peace on the planet is under great threat. Limited identities of fundamentalism of religion, intolerant thoughts, wealth divide, caste divide, divide on the basis of region, fanatic nationalism, status, color of skin, racism, casteism, divide on the basis of species, human beings consider themselves owner of all the species. Divide on the basis of gender, sex orientation, habitat even. Human beings consider themselves owner of the whole planet and leads to global warming. When this divide, because of these divides, peace which should naturally flow has to be established by forces of peacekeeping. And that's why 25 years ago in United Nations General Assembly, we all as a planet adopted a resolution for culture of peace. And today, we are also celebrating 76th year of Declaration of Human Rights for the people on the planet, where dignity, equality and justice is upheld. But it seems that we didn't improve our progress enough in that. We are seriously off track on Agenda 2030 we set for ourselves. 1 in 8 people globally is still suffering from mental disorder. Suicide is being the second leading cause of death among youth today. But still, global defense budget is twice of the global health budget. International disarmament expenditure is only 0.039% of the annual military expenditure in 2013. So United Nations alone can't do it. And that is why United Consciousness celebrates this United Nations International Day of Peace, which is a sincere attempt to raise the consciousness of the planet. Which could not be achieved by the stroke of pen or by the forces or by the resolutions can be achieved by the resolution of mankind, by rising consciousness of all. It is rising consciousness that before taking any action, I will ask 3 questions from myself. Question number 1, whether by this action will lead to uphold and sustain peace within me. Second, whether this action which I am taking will improve or sustain my peace with the people around. And third, whether the action I am taking will uphold or sustain the peace on the planet. Because peace is not only absence of conflict. At individual level, peace is the presence of the feeling of joy, serenity, dignity, hope, freedom in me. With other people, peace stands for joyful interpersonal relationships, based on love and equality, where I can see me in you, you in me, and us in all. Peace on the planet is also celebrating oneness and this diversity beyond limited divides. So every action which we take should end with disseminating more peace on the planet. In Sanskrit, peace is called Shanti. So peace within myself, peace with others, and peace in the world also. United Consciousness International Week of Peace celebration is one of the world's biggest celebration of United Nations International Day of Peace. The celebration begins on 14th of September, and this celebration will continue till 22nd of September with a hope that even if this event is over, the celebration of peace and happiness will continue resonating in everybody's life on the planet. In this program, life coaches, spiritual masters, academicians, public representatives, public servants, scientists, artists, bureaucrats, and all statesmen of repute are coming from different parts of the world, from all 6 continents of the world, because we stand together for a peaceful world. Dear friends, let's join hand together in saying, before we do anything and after we do anything, invoking the higher within and saying, Om Shanti, may there be peace within me. Om Shanti, may there be peace around me. Om Shanti, may there be peace on the planet, in the world. On behalf of Project Self, European Yoga Federation, Yoga Australia, Yoga Vidya Spiritual Council in Africa, AYT, and other important sister organizations of United Consciousness, I welcome all of you to join the celebration for the joy of life. Namaste.
I'm feeling honored to welcome and introduce Honorable Minister Mr. Dharmendra Bhav Singh Lodhi, a seasoned politician and a dynamic leader, currently serves as the Minister of State with independent charge for culture, tourism and religious trust and endowments in Madhya Pradesh. A trusted figure in the state's political arena, he brings both experience and a deep-rooted commitment to public service. Representing the Jabera Assembly constituency, born in Nota village in Jabera Tehsil, his journey is a testament of his strong connection with his homeland. His educational background includes BSc in mathematics, an MA in Hindi and further qualifications such as postgraduate diploma in computer application and B.Ed, showcasing his dedication to both learning and leadership. His political career began with the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, and he rose to prominence with his electoral success in 2018. His re-election in 2023 highlights his deep association with the Sangh and the trust he commands among the people. As a minister, he has outlined an ambitious vision for Madhya Pradesh culture and religious heritage, focusing on promoting tourism and enhancing pilgrimage experiences. His bold initiatives to offer free air travel to Ayodhya post the consecration of Shri Ram Temple underscores his commitment to serving the spiritual needs of the people. Furthermore, his leadership will see the development of Ram Van Gaman Path, a tribute to cultural preservation. His dedication, humility and forward-thinking approach are set to usher in a new era of tourism and religious promotion in Madhya Pradesh, enriching the state's cultural landscape. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Dharmendra Bhav Singh Lodhi.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, माँ कश्चित् दुख भाग भवेत्। सब सुखी हों, सब निरोगी हों, सबका मंगल हो, सबका कल्याण हो, किसी को किसी प्रकार की कोई दुख तकलीफ ना हो, हमारा भारतवर्ष ऐसी महान संस्कृति को मानने वाला है जो संपूर्ण जगत के कल्याण की कामना करती है और वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की भावना से ओतप्रोत है। भारत के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने पूरे विश्व का आह्वान करते हुए कहा है कि 21वीं सदी युद्ध की सदी नहीं है, यह वैश्विक शांति और मानव जाति के सर्वांगीण विकास की सदी है। संयुक्त राष्ट्र का 21 सितंबर विश्व शांति महापर्व इस मायने में और भी महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है। इस अवसर पर 14 से 22 सितंबर के मध्य आयोजित एकात्म चेतना वैश्विक संस्था के कार्यक्रम में मैं विश्व भर से आए सभी विशिष्ट महानुभावों का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। भारतीय संस्कृति और परंपराओं का सार है यह विषय हमारे देश की आत्मा, हमारे मूल्यों, हमारे आचार विचार के आधारभूत तत्वों को दर्शाता है और संपूर्ण विश्व को शांति के मार्ग पर चलने की प्रेरणा देता है। मानव इस सृष्टि का सबसे अधिक बुद्धिमान और विवेकशील प्राणी है और उसकी यह पहचान शांति, सहिष्णुता और सद्भाव के आदर्शों में निहित है। हमारे वेदों, उपनिषदों और गीता में मानव जाति के कल्याण और शांति का मूल भाव निहित है। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने कहा है, शांति परम सुखम, अर्थात शांति ही सर्वोत्तम सुख है। गीता में शांति को आत्मा की शुद्धता और मन की स्थिरता के रूप में वर्णित किया गया है। भारत की सनातन परंपरा शांति, अहिंसा और मानव कल्याण की मूल भावना पर आधारित होकर अनादिकाल से लेकर आज तक अनवरत जारी है। वेदों की ऋचाओं से लेकर गौतम बुद्ध और महावीर से होती हुई महात्मा गांधी तक शांति और सद्भाव की यह परंपरा भारत में सदैव जीवंत रही है। भारत के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने वसुधैव कुटुंबकम और सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः की इस परंपरा को संपूर्ण विश्व में प्रसारित किया है। शांति और सद्भाव का संदेश केवल हमारे धार्मिक ग्रंथों तक सीमित नहीं है, बल्कि हमारी भारतीयता की जड़ों में विद्यमान है। हमारे लोकगीतों, त्योहारों और परंपराओं में भी इसका प्रतिबिंब देखने को मिलता है। अंत में मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि भारतीय संस्कृति और परंपराओं का सार शांति और अहिंसा में निहित है। यह शांति ही हमें सहिष्णुता, सद्भाव और प्रेम के मार्ग पर चलने की प्रेरणा देती है। हमारे यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी आज संपूर्ण विश्व में शांति और अहिंसा का संदेश प्रसारित कर रहे हैं। मैं एकात्म चेतना के वैश्विक समन्वयक डॉक्टर विक्रांत सिंह तोमर को इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर इस विशाल आयोजन के लिए हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं और शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और आशा करता हूं कि यह आयोजन संपूर्ण विश्व को शांति, सद्भाव और अहिंसा के मार्ग पर चलने के लिए प्रेरणा देगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank our Honorable Minister, Mr. Dharmendra Bhav Singh Lodhi, for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you. It's my honor to introduce and welcome Dr. Archana Sharma. She is a distinguished scientist and a visionary leader with over 35 years of experience in advanced electrical engineering, renowned for her pioneering work in multi-gigawatt high-voltage pulse power technology. Dr. Sharma has played a pivotal role in shaping Bharat's self-reliance through her contributions to the Department of Atomic Energy and Bhabha Atomic Research Center. Her crowning achievement includes the development of India's first 1 MV bipolar charging pulsar system and the indigenous LINAC-based neutron radiography system. A recipient of prestigious awards such as the Homi Bhabha Science and Technology Award and the EMC Engineering of the Year Award, Dr. Sharma's influence extends beyond her technical expertise. Her leadership is cutting-edge pulse power technologies, safety commitments, and industrial applications as revolutionized the field. She is a group director at BTDG, Spark Mumbai. It large-scale projects with precision and vision. Dr. Sharma's international presence and collaborations with top institutions like IAEA, Fermi Lab and IITs amplify her commitment to academic growth, guiding numerous doctoral students and fostering research partnerships. Her unparalleled contributions to both science and education have made her a celebrated figure, inspiring future generations for engineers and scientists worldwide. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Archana Sharma.
Most welcome, Dr. Sharma, and we are so honored to have you to speak on From Technology to Tranquility. Whole stage is yours. Kindly unmute and speak.
The unnecessary chasing of demands of the senses and mind lead us to many problems of stress, pain, anxiety, anger, etc. And we, the most sensitive beings, remain away from the true realization of happiness and peace. Project Self Bharat is an organization created for supporting individuals of any background to build a strong foundation for a lifelong wellness. We focus on a holistic view of human personality and aim to bring the body, mind, and spirit into a balanced and healthy state. Our vision is to empower individuals to find harmony, peace, and completeness in themselves. Our program includes the Bhagavad Gita classes. Bhagavad Gita classes is a systematic learning program for a detailed study of Bhagavad Gita. Its aim to provide a world-class education program and knowledge base for Bhagavad Gita. In this program, we include the deep learning, a systematic learning program for a detailed study of Bhagavad Gita, inspiring thoughts, inspiring and uplifting weekly messages based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Gita Sadhana, weekly studied practices based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, scientific connections, exploration of the concepts in modern science and management that are relevant to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Sanskrit musing, a systematic analysis of the Sanskrit terms used in Bhagavad Gita. Project Self also run Vedanta classes. This is a systematic learning program for the study of Vedanta, one of the world's most ancient, broadest, highest and deepest spiritual vision. Project Self Bharat aims to provide holistic wellness program for the overall development of human beings. We offer programs on inculcating human values and moral elevation through the study of Indian scriptures. We encourage good health and well-being by providing the classes on yoga and meditation. All our programs are based on the real challenges and problems faced by the people of 21st century. We are logical and scientifically minded, and the sessions we provide are rooted in a scientific approach. Our language is not religious, contemplative, or mystical, but that of a common person. We believe in universal tolerance and we accept all religions' traditions as true. Our approach is the assimilation of all and not the exclusivity of one. Our programs and services are open to people of any background, irrespective of nationality, religion, and professional background. Welcome to United Consciousness, where one consciousness, one being, is more than just a belief. It's a movement, a global initiative that unites us all in the pursuit of peace, spiritual wisdom, and universal happiness. It's a global mission that's touching life across continents. If you have ever felt the need for connection, spiritual guidance, or just a sense of belonging, you are in the right place. Welcome to United Consciousness. United Consciousness is not just an organization. It's a living, breathing community dedicated to enhance the holistic well-being of over 3 lakh individuals worldwide. Our mission is simple yet profound. One consciousness, one being. We believe that by connecting with our higher selves and each other, we can live lives filled with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Together, we are building a global community that shares this vision, helping each other unlock our full potential. Our logo says it all. The lotus symbolizes enlightenment, peace, and infinite universal consciousness. The petals represent all beings in the universe, interconnected and overlapping, signifying our togetherness. And that white essence in the center, it's the one source from which all beings originated. Every detail carries meaning right down to the 14 petals, which reminds us to transcend our limited identities. And speaking of transcendenting identities, our vision aligns perfectly with the global movement of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. With the presence in over 100 countries, our reach is global. We are not just spreading a message, we are creating a cohesive network of individuals and organizations working together to eliminate limited identities and promote peace and happiness across the planet. But what does joining United Consciousness means to you? It means gaining access to tools and resources that will help you build mental resilience, overcome stress, depression, and anxiety, and elevate your spiritual journey. And that's just the beginning. Our live question and answer sessions with the world-renowned speakers provide you with the opportunity to get all your life questions answered, whether you are seeking spiritual upliftment, emotional intelligence, or simply a community that stands and supports you. United Consciousness is here to help you thrive in this complex world. So why wait? Join us on this transformative journey. Let's create a world where peace and happiness are not just distant ideals, but a tangible reality we can all experience here and now. United consciousness, one being. Together, we can make the difference. I'm honored to welcome and present Jos Prior. He is passionate for both teaching and as a student of yoga. His dedication to the practice extends far beyond the mat to the thriving community he supports, pursuing study of the ancient text. Jos has held a fascination for metaphysics and philosophy since a young age and returned to his philosophical roots after a steadfast career in computer sciences. His approach is a light-hearted and undeniable enthusiastic, encouraging practitioner limitations of the physical body, translating into clear vision and altered states of awareness. Armed with a studious nature, he continued to deepen his knowledge and practice the likes of George Mahele in 2016 and Srivastav Swami in 2017. This education informs the operation of Ashtanga Yoga, Newcastle. Jos has studied and practiced alongside experienced Western yoga teacher, also works as a specialist in business management, systematic analysis, IT and marketing. He is an experienced commercial negotiator over the last 20 years.
For the last 2 years, he has joined his attention to Yoga Australia. It is in his spirit that Josh speaks us today as a representative of the long-standing peak body of yoga in Australia, as a spokesman for the best intentions of the nation made richer by the teaching of the Indus Valley. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Jos Prior.
It is indeed an privilege to welcome my brother Joshi from Australia. Most welcome, Joshi. And he'll be addressing us on the topic spiritual acceptance, embracing diversity and unity in spiritual communities. Whole stage is yours, Joshi. Most welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Tamar. Good to see you again, sir. And I hope to see you in February in Ujjain, I think, as well. Okay, let me talk about diversity and inclusivity in spirituality. The great texts of non-duality, Advaita Vedanta, when they are faithfully translated and expertly interpreted, they give us a great deal of benefit. And truly, when we recognize the whole and our place in the whole as a center of consciousness, our behavior changes dramatically compared to what we see demonstrated usually in a materially focused society. In duality, we see commerce and possession, fear and struggle, greed, laziness, all these things. When we understand non-duality properly, beyond the academic translations, beyond traditional translations, then our behavior will change and our natural ethics will kick in, become prominent. There's a beautiful clue in the name Shankaracharya. The proponents, the original proponent of non-duality. We know that he existed and that he wrote many, many wonderful texts, but that name Shankara is actually a placeholder. Has been used for centuries following his time. It's a placeholder. When a great text is found or written, and the author is not known, or the author does not want to be ascribed ownership, then the name Shankara is used. And this is a great demonstration of that non-dual nature, of the non-possessiveness of Advaita Vedanta, the non-authorship, and the fact that it's available and accessible to all of us without individual attribution. So let's go into a little bit more detail here. The fixation on physical existence, on material forms, is the trouble. It's the trouble that we have, and it's the key to liberation, to moksha. The fixation on the material forms, not the material forms themselves. So this idea that we should see the world as a dream, as an illusion, as not real. We should see the world as nothing more than the droppings of a crow, this sort of thing, is not helpful. This is not good. The world does exist. The material world does exist. It's real. It is the fixation on the world that needs to be altered. Nothing is going to be destroyed. And in fact, if you go and try to destroy the world, well, aside from being locked up in a prison, the ego will not allow you to do this. The ego is part of the world. The ego is very physical, and if it detects that you're going to somehow get enough weapons and money together to destroy all the other egos, it's not going to work. It's too unsafe. This is not the solution. Intellectually and logically, it's not the solution either. The solution is unity, and the unity, not just with one another. It's not just we all get along together really well and shake hands and are very friendly. That's not enough. We need to understand that the physical reality is but 1%, 1% only of the true reality. Sat Chit Ananda is the true reality, is the vastness. It's the 99.9% of reality. Nama Rupa is very, very small piece. It is real. It is part of reality, but it is a small piece. And my question is, who amongst us spends 1% of our time looking at objects and talking to people and being involved in the material world? Only 1%. No, we all spend every moment of our waking lives looking at things, talking to things, hearing things, touching things, this sort of thing. The fixation of our culture on material existence is the problem, and that is what we seek to undo. Non-duality is extraordinarily empowering as well. By letting us know that we can remove our fixation on the material world, that it's okay to do so. I mean, that's kind of illegal. That's kind of culturally problematic almost. Maybe more so in the West. And there's so many obligations. No. To be a good person, you have to have a family, you have to have a degree, you have to have a job, career, all this sort of thing. All of these obligations that will keep you very, very busy. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you need to get to work. But the texts of non-duality tell you that no, actually there is something more important. Understanding the true reality, understanding the rest of reality, not just your car and your friends and your job. When we're given this permission, this invitation to explore the vastness of the non-physical world, in addition to the physical world, we're given choice, and that is empowering. That is by definition empowering. Someone is telling us, even if it's someone from the 14th century or the 8th century telling us, well, at least someone is telling us, giving us that option, so we can pursue it at our own pace. When we are empowered that way, the more time you spend immersed in this idea, well, the more you realize actually that you have the choice. You actually do have the choice to experience being imprisoned in the material world, being fixated, being addicted, and being compelled to act only in the material world. This can be a tough one to confront, but you do have the choice. Most of us do, It is similar to the choice that we have around our state of mind, our emotions. Theoretically, we do have the choice. We do have the ability to change our mood, our emotions, anytime we like. This is fundamental. This is the nature of the brain, but it's also the nature of the vastness of the imagination, consciousness, Sat Chit Ananda. We do have that ability. We may feel from time to time that we don't have the ability, and depending on what's happening in our lives, we may be really disappointed with that situation. Nonetheless, theoretically, with practice, we can determine our mood, our intention, any time of day. The text I'm currently about to publish a new translation of is Drusha Viveka, and it's a wonderful small text, 14th century, so it's outside of the lifespan of Shankara, although it's often attributed to Shankara. And this text, in only 46 shloka, gives us excellent advice. It gives us a technique. Rather than just pretending that the world is not real and is useless and having the inconsistent cultural experience that brings, this text talks about the subtle body, antakarana, and it says, well, if you want to free yourself of the limited egoic physical restriction, rather than going straight to Brahman, let's go to the subtle body first, the intermediary. The subtle body is mostly non-physical, and it is the source of the ego. It is the source. It created the ego. Brahman creates subtle body creates ego. So let's use our ego to go to our subtle body. And subtle body is still associated with our individual form. So the practice then becomes simply reminding ourselves that there is a subtle body that we usually can't see, but it's ours. It's identified with this physical being, and it created the physical body and ego. In fact, the subtle body is very large. It's large in space and large in time as well. It existed before I was born. My subtle body existed before I was born, and my subtle body will exist after this body is dead. The subtle body exists in time as well. It's larger than 1 millisecond. It's able to see into the future and to remember the past. So the practice then is to remember that. If you wake up in the morning and immediately your phone is buzzing and beeping and time goes by, and then you go to bed at night and maybe you read a little text that reminds you, oh, that's right, the subtle body, I forgot all about it again. That's the 5,000th day in a row I've forgotten about my subtle body, because I'm fixated on the material world. It's so addictive. So the practice then is simply to somehow remember each day, each moment, that there is a subtle body, it's yours, and your physical body is very small and sits inside in the center of the subtle body. That practice alone is enough. This text does describe some other helpful practices that will make it happen quicker as well. Some specific practices. And Savikalpa Samadhi. And this is where we can get into more modern psychology and becomes very, very useful. So one of the forms of Savikalpa Samadhi is simply to understand how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling right now? Do you know how you're feeling? I feel good. Great. Okay, good. But maybe there's some more detail, and maybe it's good to ask yourself this question at another time. I mean, right now you're sitting watching someone talk to you, but what about when you're at school or at work or driving the car or in some other situation? Do you know how you're feeling? Do you know how specifically you're feeling? When there is an intense event, when there is an intense emotion, or when there is a negative situation like a state of anxiety and depression, how are you feeling? The tendency increasingly is to distract yourself from actually knowing how you're feeling. You might be able to answer the question, yes, I'm feeling depressed. Stop asking me. And actually, we want to paradoxically go into that feeling and to understand more and more and more about the feeling, not by talking to ourselves about it, but by sitting in the feeling in a state of stillness, quiet, so that the Satchitananda, the imaginative, non-physical components of that state, what caused that state, can be revealed to you. If you only ever feel like you are being affected by the state of anxiety, depression, fear, this sort of thing, if you are only ever being reactive to it, then it will keep coming back. And we want to know the source. We want to know the ingredients of this state. And we can do that ourselves simply by sitting in the state until the fear, the anxiety, whatever it is, pulls away and the true origin is known. This is one of the more practical techniques in this text. The other one is affirming, like sankalpa. It is determining who you want to remember yourself as, who you want to feel you are, sort of metaphysical understanding of your existence, and some of the more personal human-centric attributes you want to have as well. So knowing that I am the subtle body, I am a sphere of energy with a small physical body inside it. That's an example of something that I might want to remember and to affirm and to make part of my normal operating reality, rather than only occasionally reading a book and remembering. We can also embody characteristics on a human level that we find appealing and that we want to have a little bit more of India obviously has many ways to help humans achieve this. And the devas, the deities of Indian culture are a great tool. And you want to have the wisdom and patience of Ganesha, this sort of thing, the fearlessness of Kali. This is another way that we can do it. We can focus so deeply on the desired state of affairs, the desired energy that we wish to embody, focus on it with intense concentration until it becomes part of who we are. How long have I been talking for? Feels like I'm going to keep on talking for another 2 hours. Let's keep going. There's something else, more specifically on the topic of inclusivity and diversity. There's something that we must confront. There is inequity all over the place. We know that. There is neoconservative economic theory. There is class inequity. There are people born in difficult situations. Some countries are richer than other countries. Some families have trouble. But there is an continually emerging understanding of another inequity that's holding back the human race. And it's the disparity between freedom experienced by men and women. The patriarchal society, essentially. This is becoming more and more spoken of as various countries and various cultures bravely witness the reality. People speak up, and we realize, no, there is a fairly significant disparity, and it's the men in the room, including me, who really need to be willing to confront it. It's very easy for us to sort of gloss over these things. But certainly in the West, women are trained to prioritize the feelings of men over their own. This is so normal that it's like I say, easy to gloss over. It's been going on for far longer than capitalism and atomic bombs and all this sort of thing. It's been going on for so long. And while that inequity exists, I feel that our society, our world, will be limited. Will always be ignoring part of its own truth and reality. There's an opportunity for us to create a new reality, create a new world in ourselves and in the external world of forms. And while ever we shrink, while ever we pull back from true awareness of the situation, we will always remain somewhat limited. Yeah, and there are very visible forms of inequity in society, and I think one by one, piece by piece, we are bringing them, highlighting them, bringing them to our awareness, and it's up to all of us to be really, really honest. It's painful to see, it's painful to see people starving, and so we often don't see it. We just ignore it. We go somewhere else. And the inequity between the genders is a really good one, because you can't avoid it unless you want to only live with men or only live with women. You will see it. Every man should ask himself, how can there be love? How can my wife really, really love me if she was trained since being a child to even subtly, defer to me at all times, to prioritize my feelings over hers at all times? We want pure love. Thank you, Vikram. We want to know that we live in an honest fashion. And so it's time to embrace the teachings of non-duality, not in an academic sense, not in a masculine and traditional sense, but in a real sense that we can actually use. And then we won't need to have these conferences anymore because we're living it every single moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother Josh ji. And thank you for reminding us that the problem is not exactly the world exists, but our clinging and our fixation to it is a concern. You mentioned it clearly that physical reality is maybe of absolute reality, but our focus is 99% on physical reality and we don't focus on absolute reality. You suggested one to start with as Drag Drashya Viveka. You mentioned to start with working on our Antahakarana, subtle body, and Smriti, or remembrance of the true nature, and Abhyas, practice. You suggested the tool you also mentioned, Samadhi, and you gave some tools: sit and watch our thoughts. Sankalpa, you suggested focus on what you want to be, and once we go beyond our subtle body, then all inequalities and diversities, the divisions, they stop to exist and unity. So kind of you, Joshi, for addressing the audience. I'm sure that they will have their part of learning out of it. We are so much honored to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Meeting you in Ujjain.
Good. Pretty much.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Mr. Jos Prior for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views.
I'm glad to welcome our next guest, Ms. Shailaja, who is a versatile being. She's an author, certified integral yoga and Manasa yoga teacher, TV host and speaker. She grew up in Coimbatore, India, but she is based in Malaysia. She has over 20 years of teaching experience and is the founder of Mat and Am Beyond Yoga Studio. She hosted Yoga Shakti, a TV series on Anand TV based in UK. She conducts online asana and pranayama and am dhyana classes in UK and USA. Over the years, she has been invited to speak at several educational institutions and organizations in Malaysia, India and USA. She has been featured in leading newspapers in India. Ms. Shailaja hosts podcasts on Facebook with eminent personalities in yoga and Vedanta. She is a passionate advocate of mental wellness through the tools of yoga including asana, pranayama, dhyana, mantra and yoga sutra philosophy. And she seeks to share that knowledge through every platform available to her. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Shailaja.
Shailaja ji, most welcome. So nice to see you again. And whole stage is yours to speak on open-mindedness in spiritual exploration, welcoming different parts of truth. Most welcome. All your stage.
Namaste and thank you, Vikramji. So to get started, I would also like to offer my deepest appreciation to the team of United Consciousness for their untiring efforts year after year, creating events such as these to promote oneness, peace, and of course, a united consciousness. And I would also like to thank Team United Consciousness for giving me this platform and allowing me to share this space as a speaker. Now, before I begin my talk, I'd just like to start with a prayer. So, if you could just close your eyes. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. So, as I step into my topic, when we talk about Indian philosophy, there are basically fundamentally the part of Dvaitam, which is duality, and Advaitam, which is non duality. So, there is no one singular path to one truth, but a common thread that goes through all of these paths is that it leads to a release or an end to suffering, which is termed as dukkham. Now, whether it is the Yoga Sutras, where Maharshi Patanjali tells us, Heyam dukkham anagatam, which means pain that can be coming to us in the future must be avoided. Or it is Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, as he tells Arjuna, Ashochan anvasochastvam. Do not grieve over what must not be grieved about. Or it is the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, where sage Swatmarama says, Asheshan tapataptanam samashraya ato hataha. When we are completely burnt by suffering, take refuge in Hatha Yoga. So, as you can see, the thread of release from suffering runs through the different philosophies. So, now let us explore, why do we suffer? Now, this again can be a common thread because it is considered in the Yoga Sutras as well that we suffer because of avidya, ignorance of the reality of who we are. And as this veil of ignorance is removed and we connect to our true nature of who we really are, then that releases suffering. And even when it comes to the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that as we work towards developing a strong intellect, then we can get a release from suffering. Yeah, so this notion of avidya or ignorance is a very strong thread, and the antidote to that is the cultivation of a strong intellect. Now, what is this avidya? What do we mean by avidya or ignorance? It refers to our inability to discern or discriminate between nitya and anitya, what is eternal and what is transient, and also between atma and anatma, what is self and what is non self. So, as we keep identifying with what is ever changing, ignoring what is never changing, we get mired in dukkham, suffering. And this results because of our term called samyoga, or a deep conjunction and identification that we form with the ever changing, which is our name, our form, our position in life, what they call nama, rupa, vyavahara. That is what we are always identified with, right? We have this great job, we're so attached to it. But as we all know, that we can always lose our job in a minute. Similarly, when it comes to relationships, one of the most sacred relationships is that between mother and child. But as a parent, we all know that even that too changes because the need of a baby is different from the need of a teenager and is very different from the need of a adult child. So everything is a constant state of flux. even when we take our own bodies, there are all these different stages that our bodies go through. When we are born as babies, then we become toddlers, children, young adults, middle aged adults, old age, right? And then we finally die, right? So our bodies go through so many changes, and I'm sure we all can experience those changes as we go through life. And even otherwise, minute to minute, our bodies are changing, right? Old cells are dying off, new cells are being born. Nothing remains the same. Everything is ever changing. So that is the whole understanding that we have to have, that we keep seeking permanence in what is ever changing. And we need to shift our focus to what is eternal, what never changes. Now, for example, I'm going to again refer back to a beautiful prayer in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which goes Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Lead us from unreal to real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. So, what really dies, right? So, an example to give is that a log of wood dies to become planks of wood. Now, planks of wood die to become a chair, and a chair dies to become firewood, and a fire dies to become ash. Now, the name and form of all of these different aspects, whether it is a log of wood or whether it is a plank, whether it is a chair, the names and forms are different. But it is the same substance that runs through all of it. And that is what we have to see, the oneness. But we are so mired because of the ego in this me versus you, in this them versus us, that we are unable to see what really brings us together. Our focus is always on separation, what separates us. And this labels and bound creates these boundaries and divisions, which leads to that sense of otherness. And that when we are mired in otherness, then we cannot experience the oneness. So, what we have to do while we talk about open mindedness, it is more an open heartedness that we need to have. That open heart to be able to accommodate, include diverse opinions, diverse beliefs, radically different beliefs. It is all very hard and challenging. But that is the practice to keep the conversation going and to not shut our hearts to people and opinions that are different from ours. And that is how we can maintain that sense of connection. Otherwise, we are just like isolating ourselves and connecting only to a sense of separation and separatedness. Now, when we come to the Hatha Yoga practices, though they may not focus so much on the intellect, like Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, even through the path of Karma Yoga, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam, it requires that strong intellect as that antidote to avidya. And even in the Yoga Sutras, Maharshi Patanjali says, Viveka Kyatir Aviplava Hano Upaya. That constant, continuous, moment to moment discerning is what gives us that release from suffering. Right? So, the path for Yoga Sutras in Gita is all about developing that strong intellect. Now, impurities in Hatha Yoga Pradipika and in the Hatha Yoga practices, they accept that impurities exist, but they are all energy patterns. And these energy patterns sediment along the lines of the energy channels that carry these energies, called the nadis. So, Hatha Yoga based on tantric practices, they work in the context of the five elemental bodies, the seven chakras, and the nadis, which carry these energy flows throughout. And when these nadis get blocked through these impurities, these energy patterns that sediment them, then we feel all those negative emotions and we act in negative and destructive ways. So, the practices, whether it is asana, pranayama, chakras, mudras, bandhas, all of these practices are to release those energy patterns so that we may connect to our true selves. So, on the surface of it, it all looks very different. If you look at Bhagavad Gita, if you look at other Vedanta texts, right, they talk about Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. That is the path where you have to listen, you have to contemplate, and then you have to meditate. That is the path. Whereas when you connect to Hatha Yoga practices, they seem to be having completely different practices, right? It's like standing on your head, stretching on a mat, but eventually the path is the same. Yeah, we're all trying to connect to our true self, connect to our inner self, which in Vedanta is termed Satchit Ananda, and in Shaivism it is termed Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Yeah, and the path towards that is with an open heart and with wisdom, by that deep connection we develop with the Agnya Chakra or the third eye. Right? The third eye, the location of the third eye also is physically above the physical eyes. Yeah. So by cultivating that deep connection with third eye, by connecting to our inner wisdom, we are able to have that higher perspective and we're able to rise above these lines and demarcations that separate us and create boundaries and see the oneness amongst everyone and everything, to rest in that one consciousness. So I'm going to end my talk with this beautiful line again from the Gita: Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Everything rests in that one light, in that one united consciousness. Yeah. Namaste.
So nice, Shailaja ji. You kept your speech on the topic and rooted in scriptures, left and right. You quoted all different paths that leads to the same truth. You mentioned about Yoga Sutra. You mentioned about Dvaita, Advaita, both. You mentioned about Yoga Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and you mentioned that when suffering happens, then we need to take resort to Hatha Yoga, and suffering happens because we don't know our true nature, and that is because of avidya. And then you said that antidote to avidya is viveka. You precisely mention as nitya nitya, atma anatma bheda, from from ever changing to never changing, from sanyoga to limited identities, to sanyama to what is eternal. You also quoted Brahadakaranya Upanishad saying, lead from Mrityu to Amrita, and from Namarupa to something which is beyond Namarupa. I like the way you define death, something which changes name and form. And when we cling on name and form, then separation and otherness happens. But when we have open-mindedness, the term you used, then it leads to that oneness, and that helps us to accept the diversity. When we accept the diversity, it gives us a sense of connection that leads to oneness. Not only that, you also gave us some tools, like as a upaya, we should go for illumination of intellect, viveka khyati, five elements, seven chakras, nadi processes, shravan, manan, nidyasan, three, going beyond three bodies and opening our third eye for united consciousness to realize Satchitananda. That's a perfect, elegant speech based on scriptures. I am sure that it must have immensely benefited all, as it has benefited me. Thank you very much, Shailaja ji. We are organizing a grand event in Ujjain in next February, 14, 15, and 16 February. You are most welcome. Please connect me offline so that we can extend the invite for you also.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this honor.
Yes.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Shailaja for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. I'm privileged to introduce and welcome Shri Durgadas Savant. He is MSc in Physiology from Goa Medical College, Diploma in Yoga, Yoga Therapy, Naturopathy from Yoga Vidyaniketan Mumbai and Institute of Alternative Medicine Mumbai, MA in Yoga Shastra from Kavi Kulguru Kalidas Sanskrit University, teaching yoga for 35 years and took yoga sessions in various corporate bodies. He is presently organizing a Vashi and Global Online Diploma in Yogic. He is a member National Consultative Committee, Skill Ministry, Government of India. He has written book on natural diet named Nis Argahar and published in 4 languages Marathi, English, Hindi, Gujarati. He got Vocational Excellence Award in 2008 from Rotary International, Nirul. Yoga Jeevan Gaurav Puraskar in 2017 of Yoga Vidyaniketan Mumbai and many other awards. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Shri Durgadas Savant.
Savanji, most welcome to your own family.
Namaste. Yeah.
Namaste, namaste. Our regards to you, and stage is all yours. We all are excited to receive again from you.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for the United Consciousness for giving this wonderful opportunity. So the very second slok of Hatha Pradipika says, Kevalam Raja Yogaya Hatha Vidya Upadishyate. So in the Vedic era, the yoga was restricted to Raja Yoga or meditation. But for a layman, it's not that easy all of a sudden to start with the Raj Yoga. So first of all, Maharshi Patanjali gave a broader foundation like Ashtanga Yoga, and then Hatha Yogis extended it. So many asanas they designed, and Shuddhi Kriyas and Ashtakumbhak and all that, ultimately to prepare for the Raj Yoga. So let us quickly go through this first-hand experience of few practices. There will be demonstration. Our Miss Sonali Raul will be demonstrating. Yeah. You all are welcome to join. The first asana is one of the well-known meditative postures, that is Vajrasana. This is the initial relaxation state wherein the feet are away, palms are slightly backside, neck is relaxed. Madam is slowly bringing the legs together. All of you do same thing. Legs together, palm by the side of the trunk, shifting weight towards the left side. Fold the right leg completely vertically, catching hold of the ankle, place it below the buttock. Shifting towards the right side, repeat same on the other side. Big toes are together, above in the aparted heels. The buttocks are fixed. The palms are placed on the thigh near groin initially. Shoulders are bit back. Spine is straight in natural curvature. That's most essential component. And now, without disturbing the shoulder position, slide the palm forward towards the knee as per one's capacity. That's all. This is the final posture of Vajrasana. Gently close the eyelids and feel the body, scanning the body rather. Facial muscles are relaxed. Arm muscles are relaxed. Abdomen moves very freely in and out for breathing. Just be aware of bit pressure at the heel, calf, ankle, but it is pleasurable. That's why. What Maharshi Patanjali states, Sthira Sukham Masanam and Prayatna Shaithilya, maximum relaxation. And then Ananta Samapatti. That is simple practice of Ananta Samapatti is becoming aware about the breath. Slowly there is inhalation, subsequent exhalation. Count it as 1. Slowly inhalation and again exhalation. Engaging mind in counting the cycles of the breath is Pranadharana Prathama. And then feeling the same at a subtler level in the nostril. It can be Pranadharana Dvitiya. So these are the subtler levels of meditation, one after another. Basically, the concept is awareness about the breath. Diverting the mind from body and surrounding towards the breath. From grosser to subtler level journey. From breath, come back to body. We have got limited time, so Let us not maintain for more time. Bring the palm back by the side of the trunk, shifting towards right side, unfold the left leg. And then shifting towards left side, unfold the right leg, palm by the side of the trunk. First take the palm back, relaxing the neck, legs away, and back to relaxation. Let us do one Kriya Kapalabhati. Ideally, the posture is Padmasana. Both the legs are together. Palm by the side of the trunk. Fold the right leg vertically at the knee. Then one palm below the knee, another heel. Nicely twist the ankle, knee and heel. Repeat same on the other side. It is known as Padmasana. If it is not possible, if one leg is placed below, it is known as Ardha Padmasana. Palm on the knees, known as Drona Mudra. Drona is bowl. Shoulders bit back, most important. Spine erect in natural curvature. That's common for every meditative posture. Kapalbhati is a Kriya. The ideal Kapalbhati is done by fixing the chest and the shoulder. Eyes are closed. Breathe in fully, expanding the chest and raising the shoulder up, and fix them, lock them, shoulder and the chest. Don't allow them to come down. Keep the abdomen relaxed, moving freely in and out for diaphragmatic breathing or abdominal breathing. And now we'll be giving stroke. Exhalation is active, inhalation is passive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2. Continue. Not a single millimeter chest and shoulder should come down for actual Kapalabhati. Only diaphragmatic abdominal strokes. Exhalation is active, inhalation is passive. One may go 60, 80, 100, 120, 150 as per one's capacity, with a speed of around 120 to 150 strokes per minute, ideally. But initially, one may go for lower speed like 100 per minute, 80 per minute, nothing wrong. 60 per minute. One has to develop gradually. Okay, stop. Bring the chest down, shoulder down, exhaling the remaining air in the lungs. Enjoy the effect of Kapalbhati over your body and mind. Gently open the eyes, release Drona Mudra, and detwist leg one after another, and relax back. Let us go for one standing asana, lateral bending asana, Purva or rather Parivarti Chakrasana. There can be comfortable distance between both the feet. Later on, there can be brought together also. Arm on the either side of the shoulder, extended. Simultaneously bend laterally, right side, from waist, neck, shoulder, so that your gaze is falling from figure 12 to figure 3 on an imaginary all clock. Right arm is relaxed, left arm is stretched. For nice lateral bending you are getting. Close your eyes if comfortable, not losing the balance. Breathing should not be shallow and fast, but slow with normal depth. Prana dharana, awareness of breath. Either counting the breath or feeling the touch of the breath. To release, open the eyes and simultaneously release the trunk as well as the arms, so that arms are parallel to the ground, and immediately in the same rhythm continue on the other side. From waist up to neck and the shoulder. Bend on the left side, so that left arm is relaxed and right arm is stretched from the shoulder. Eyes closed. You have to gaze straight from figure 12 to figure 9 on an imaginary all clock. So that's the correct lateral bending alignment. Close the eyes. Relax maximum body parts which are not directly involved. And awareness of breath, known as prana dharana, very primitive form of meditation. Prana dharana, awareness of breath, feeling the breath. Open your eyes and come back and release the arm and relax. Let us go for one twisting asana in standing position known as Dandastha Vakrasana. Same relaxation position, hip width distance between both the feet. Just extend your both the arm forward in front of the shoulder, keeping the palm facing each other. Maintaining that distance without moving the feet, slowly turn towards right side. The entire trunk, very slowly. All the yogic movements are slow, controlled, rhythmic, without any jerk. All the time breathing is normal. Turn the neck extreme right. And that's all. Close the eyes if possible. If you are losing the balance, you may keep the eyes open. Breathing is going on slowly. Breathing should not be shallow and fast, but slow with normal depth, rendering good massage to the inner organs. Awareness of breath, prana dharana. Opening the eyes, slowly come back. Rhythmic movement, all the time breathing is normal. And in the same rhythm, continue on the other side, left side. Exclusive twisting, one type of bend at a time. We had a lateral bending prior, this is a twisting. Open your eyes, slowly come back. Release the hands and relax. Let us go for one backward bending asana, Bhujanga asana. Lie on your chest, on the toil. Head is on one side, right or left. Elbows are folded by the side of the chest and legs are apart, either heels inward or toes outward. This is initial relaxation state. For Bhujanga asana, bring both the legs together, big toes together, heels together, knees together, elbow unfolded, forehead on the ground. Place both the palm on either side of the chest. Shoulders back, elbows closer so that they are not pressed. Using only the neck muscle, contracting them, brushing nose, chin, raise your head up slowly, contracting the upper back muscle, raise the chest up, and even little upper abdomen as per one's capacity, of course. But palms are not pressed but placed. Cobra doesn't have arms, so arms are not to be used here. Only the cervical and thoracic spinal joints need to be contracted. Awareness of body, facial muscles are relaxed, breast, nice stretch below the chin, in the chest, in the upper abdomen, pressure in the lower abdomen, legs are completely relaxed. This is CDR, conscious differential relaxation. And now Pranadharana, breath awareness. Open the eyes and slowly land down. Forehead on the ground. Unfold the elbows. Turn head on the other side. Elbows folded, legs apart, back to relaxation. Another wonderful backward bending asana, Dhanurasana, but we will go for a easier version known as Sulabh Dhanurasana. Make the feet just in the line of the leg wherever they are, not together, because it is not standard Dhanurasana now. Sulabha. Elbow unfolded, forehead on the ground. Brushing nose, place chin on the ground. Fold the legs at the knee. Catch hold the respective side at ankle. And start unfolding the legs at the knee with a tug of war. Let both the extremities, the knee, thigh on lower side and the head and chest on the upper side, get raised off the ground like a dhanushya, bow. Try to relax maximum body parts, especially facial muscles, and breathe normally. Don't hold the breath, very important. Avoid tendency to hold the breath. And pranadharana, breath awareness. To release, open your eyes and slowly start folding the knees. Automatically, both the extremities will be smoothly landing. Breathing in normal all the time. Chin on the ground. Release the catch of the angle. Unfold the legs at the knee. Exactly reverse way. Forehead on the ground. Head on one side. Elbows folded. And you are relaxing the feet. Turn on. Back. A very good forward bending is halasana actually. But let us go for strengthening the abdominal muscles first. With Vitthita Dvipadasana. Both the legs together, hands nearer, palm facing the ground, without pressing the arm, contracting only abdominal muscles, slowly raise both the legs together as one unit about 30 degrees, 12 inches, that's all, and maintain. Facial muscles are relaxed, arms are relaxed, legs are straight. The strain is on the abdominal muscle. This will help to reduce the fat in the belly, to tone the abdominal muscles. Open your eyes, slowly, smoothly land. Palm away, feet away. Tuck the t-shirt for halasana. Yeah, both the legs are together, palm nearer. Slowly start raising both the legs, very smoothly. Take your own time. Let the buttock get raised off the ground. And then allow the legs to become parallel to the ground. Abdomen is quite relaxed. This is known as Purva Halasana. Keep the abdomen relaxed. Keep the knee straight. And take your own time. Out of the stretchability in the spinal joint, let the toe smoothly land on the ground. This is known as Sulabh Halasana. Wait for 2-3 breaths. Now take the toes toward the head. This is known as halasana A. There are 4 stages actually, step by step. And then make the heel to toe perpendicular, halasana B. Slowly the forward bending shifting from lower spine to upper spine. Now see, toes are away from the head. And now holding the elbow, interlocking finger, place them behind the top of the head. And take the toes more and more back. Now it is more of a cervical region forward bending. Chin lock is there. This is the final posture of halasana. The thyroid gland is completely pressed here. Pranadharana. It's like a flow of a farmer. Okay. Open the eyes. Release the interlock fingers. This is halasana C. Then there will be halasana B, perpendicular. Toes toward the head. Halasana A. And then slowly start releasing Sulabh halasana, and then leg parallel to the ground, Puru halasana. Complete control, full control of the body. Earth gravity should not control our body movement. Buttocks. And then slowly, smoothly landing the leg down. And then palm away, feet away, back to relaxation. Stretching asana, simple. Tadasana. Uttan Tadasana, very simple. Both the legs together, palm nearer. Slowly raise the arm upward. Normal breathing. Stretch the arm upward, toes together downward. Beautiful stretch. Very simple. There are other stretching asana like Tadasana, that is standing, or Parvatasana, but it's very simple. Sulabha Tadagi Mudra. Yeah. Release the stretch. Slowly start raising the hands. And relax. The last practice we are going through today is Sulabha Tadagi Mudra. It's a Udiyan Bandhu only, but lying down practice. Negative pressure is great. Fold the legs at the knee, wherever they are, keeping them a bit apart. That is, heels are in the line of the buttocks. One elbow is folded. The index finger and the thumb are kept ready to close both the nostrils later on. But prior to that, breathe in fully. Breathe out completely, taking the chest down, contracting the abdomen. Hold the breath by pinching the nostril. Relax the abdomen and expand the chest. Automatically, abdomen got sucked in. This is Tadag. Tadag means dry lake. It is known as Udiyan Bandh also. Uttan Udiyan. To release chest down first. Then open the nostril and normal breathing. Always do it, maintain it as per your capacity. Let there be 4 or 5 normal breaths. Let us go for second round now. Breathe in fully. Breathe out completely, chest down, abdomen contracted. Hold the breath, relax the abdomen and expand the chest. Maintain as per the capacity. To release, chest down first. Open the nostril, normal breathing and relax now. So I think our 15 minutes are already over. So once again, thanks for the wonderful opportunity.
Thank you very much, Durgadas Savantji. It is so inspiring to see, and your proficiency to give commands is, even I was sitting on the chair, my legs, my whole body started feeling the vibrations. You in nutshell covered asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, everything you covered. It's so inspiring. You covered pran dharana, bhujangasana, and lots of things. I like the way you said that your hand should be placed, not pressed.
Yeah.
Your precise instructions really helped. Slow, control, rhythmic, conscious, differential relaxation. So nice. It's very inspiring. And I'm sure that you are coming to Ujjain in February 2025, so that whole world will be in person, get benefited by you again. Pranam. Please convey our thanks to Sonali. Thank you, Sonali ji. Thank you very much. You are phenomenal. Namaste.
Nice to see you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Yogacharya Durgadas Savant for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views.
Ancient spiritual wisdom offers timeless insights for addressing contemporary conflicts. By drawing on the principles of compassion, non-violence, and inner peace, spirituality provides a pathway to resolving disputes and fostering harmony. In an era of global unrest, applying these age-old techniques can illuminate the path to lasting peace. So the panel discussion today will be on the topic Spirituality and Peace, applying ancient wisdom to contemporary conflicts. Our next panelist is from Philippines, Mr. Guido Tescher. He is doctorate from Albert Ludwig University Freiburg, and he is a high school teacher and church employee teaching at the Francis Gymnasium in Lingen and study seminar in Menon. He has also done missionary missions in Philippines. He is the editor and yoga teacher. He has learned yoga teacher training from Yoga Vidya in Hornbad, Minberg. He is co-worker in the team editorial, advertising production at Yoga Vidya, seminar guide, teaching numerous yoga classes and taking yoga seminars. He teaches German at the language school My Language Cafe in Cebu City. He is also a freelance and editor of several books of Sukadevji and Yoga Vidya, commentary on the Hatha Yoga, Pradipika, etc. He studied Catholic theology and philosophy at the Albert Ludwig University Freiburg and doctoral studies in New Testament exegesis work in Hebrews, published in 2007. Our next panelist is Ms. Baltarain. She's a trainer, coach, speaker, therapist with over 18 years spent in education and training, coaching and healing. She's a certified professional trainer, certified hypnotherapist, certified NLP master coach, past life regression therapist, inner child therapist and a family constellation facilitator, certified points of view practitioner, finding her true calling to become the bridge between different worlds and cultures to touch souls by marrying spirit and matter. She has trained, coached, healed, inspired people to overcome their fears, awakening their inner strength, unleash their full potentials and transform themselves to become an authentic leader, living every day in abundance, happiness, love and fulfillment. Belle is also a storyteller who combines meditation, music, movies, arts, photography, embodiment work, and interactive process to bring more awareness and opportunities for people to interact with life from an open heart and multidimensional perspective. Our next panelist is Ms. Jamelia G from Almaty, Kazakhstan. She is a mother of 3 children and one more beautiful soul will be soon added in her family. She is practicing yoga since 15 years. She attended her first yoga class when her bank owner invited yogi from India's ashram. Her first yoga teacher Sandeep Ji is still the person who is helping her stay in touch with yoga knowledge and yoga lifestyle. She participated in yoga course when her first guru opened first branch of yoga in Kazakhstan. Since 2014, she is teaching Hatha Yoga. She has completed yoga psychology course in ashram. In 2019, she attended the international conference about family system and role of mother, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in India, which started as a trip for 4 Indian mothers and continued as global mother team of different countries. In the panel, I welcome our next panelist, Mr. Mubirkhoni Muminpur. He got his bachelor's degree in foreign language from the Tajik National University, specializing in Hindi and English. For more than 5 years, he is working as a deputy head of the Excursion and Mass Communication Department of National Museum in Tajikistan. The excursion group comprises of 2 presidents, 1 prime minister, the head of parliaments, general of army, and lots of high-level delegations from around the world. From 2015-16, he have been in India. He studied Hindi language proficiency in Kendriya Hindi Sansthan, Agra, Uttar Pradesh. He also studied Aryan culture, ancient civilization, and intercultural relationship. From 2017, he is working at the National Museum of Tajikistan as a Hindi-English speaking guide. As an Indiologist in the museum, he researched on ancient civilizations deeper. In 2018, he wrote an article after a long time researching on Hinduism in ancient Penjikent, which is from the proven artifacts of the museum. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tobur, convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tomar is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He's a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Most welcome We acknowledge your presence, our friend Guadurji from
Guido.
Philippines.
Guido.
Govido.
Guido.
Is it
Guido. Yeah. Yeah.
Govido?
Guido. It's Italian name. But I'm German. Spreche Deutsch.
Okay, so let me repeat it. Is it Govido? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's better.
Govido.
Yeah, I can live with it. I can
Sorry
live with
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
Govido.
People here call me Papsi. Papsi. Simply. That's the easiest.
We welcome you, Bel Tren from Vietnam. We welcome you, Jamilia from Kazakhstan. Most welcome.
Thank you.
And
Welcome. Namaste.
thank you. Namaste. And our audience from different parts of the world, all continents, we welcome you too. Dear friends, here we are going to discuss on the topic spirituality and peace, applying ancient wisdom to contemporary conflicts, as acknowledging that our world is going through conflicts. Lots of conflicts happening in different parts of the world. As they say, history is the best master if you learn from it. And past is the best master if you learn from it. And past is a burden if you don't learn from it. So our ancestors have given us lots of wisdom, scriptural wisdom, in different parts of the world in different forms. Here we are discussing what part of that scriptural ancient wisdom can be applied in today's day and age so that existing world conflicts can be reduced. We all understand that the conflict is man versus man versus within, and man versus nature. So we will be discussing a couple of these conflicts today and application of ancient scriptural teaching in that. Why don't we begin with conflict of man versus within? We have lots of conflict with ourselves. So let me start with Govidoji. Okay, so my question to you would be, I think too much. I want to be at peace with myself. So at times I tell that I'm tired of my own mind. It thinks too much. So what are the mechanisms, techniques given in some ancient wisdom that can help me to resolve this, my conflict with myself, my internal conflict?
Yeah, I think that is the most important conflict. Yeah, if you solve that one, you can also probably solve the others and avoid or lighten also other conflicts outside with other people. For me, Raja Yoga is the most important. Let's say you start with pranayama, you try to relax your breath, and then you focus on yourself and try to meditate. This is what I do, simply. And the problem is, I try this really every day. This is not a teaching or whatever. I do this. I consider myself as yogi, really. And I would say, yeah, that can help you to give more silence in your brain, in your mind, and then you're also able to listen more. Listen what others say, what is their meaning, what is their problem. Yeah, that is not only people. Also, for example, here is a neighbor with a very noisy dog, and I always think, what is his problem? Why is he so noisy? The problem is he is always in a cage and want to get out and need help. I think that is what he's trying to say. There's also conflict between other beings. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. So we have one more panelist today, and I think he's the youngest panelist in the discussion. And nobody better than kids can teach us how to be mentally peaceful. Thank you, Master, rather Grandmaster. What is his name, Jamilia ji?
Brian, he's small.
What is her name?
Sorry for that.
Huh? You're muted. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we understood what our friend Govidoji mentioned about Raj Yoga, Pranayam, meditate, be in silence are some of the techniques which he said he has been using to be at peace with self. We have our friend Beltran from Vietnam having a practitioner since years. What is your take? How can I resolve my conflict with myself?
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity and the honor to be here. And as we understand that for me personally, I learn a lot about how a human we evolve and we have different needs, which also sometimes creates different conflicts within ourselves. So we have different needs, different values as we grow up, and as we interact with other people. We also probably absorb their beliefs or their behaviors, and that might create new conflicts for us when we grow up. So I think for me personally, the first thing is to be aware of what are the differences, different parts in ourselves. And of course, mindfulness, meditation, or yoga can help us to bring us to that state. But I myself believe that we need to bring the awareness first, and then after that, we have to acknowledge the differences. We do not, disown anything, or we don't reject anything, because everything is a part of us, or even something that we don't like in ourselves or in others is also the mirror effect that we see when we live our life. And so acceptance, acknowledge, and then acceptance are the, the, the steps that needs to happen to help us resolve our internal conflicts. Because just like um, Master Guido, sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. Yeah, but as he said, if we can resolve this internal conflict, everything else is just a piece of cake. It's very easy. So this is, I believe, is the most important one as well. So when we understand all these differences, then it's easier to bring, the priority. We need to have the goals. Why we need to resolve these conflicts? What are the outcomes, or what are the good, the outcomes or the vision that we have when we resolve these conflicts. And then, see, from that, we can prioritize what are the most important things for us at this moment, or in the short term or in the long term. Sometimes we need to sacrifice certain needs or certain desires for maybe long term benefit, just like between the man versus nature, like Dr. Vikram just mentioned. It's very easy for us to gain the momentary, pleasure, and then we might sacrifice our long-term benefits for our future generation, especially with the environment. So for
Thank
me,
you.
that is my impact.
So
Thank you
kind
so
of
much.
you. Thank you very much. Awareness, acceptance, self talk, clarifying the priorities can help. Now we have our friend from Kazakhstan, Jamilia ji.
Is it
How do you deal? Yeah.
clear? You can
Yes.
hear me.
Yes. How? Yes. Yes. How do you deal with persons with problems which are intrapersonal in nature? To be peace with yourself, what are the techniques from ancient wisdom that you would like to suggest?
First of all, understanding that conflict, it is about way to grow. We need to accept this information. If we have a conflict outside or inside, it is everything about going to grow. Actually, every day's practice is very important. Every day's practice. It should include your own sadhana, meditation, mantra, asana, and of course pranayama. Also, we need to include here ahimsa, non-violence. We need to check our how not to harm people in action, in the world, not harm in the world, not harm in thought. Also, we need to add satya. Be honest. Be honest. It is helping to resolve conflicts. It is very helpful. Also svadhyaya, self-study, because without we are not growing ourselves, we never know where to go, we never know how to find where is our role in this conflict. That's why we need self-study. Also detachment, vairagya, that we don't need to have any we should not wait something from the resolution after conflict. That's all. That's all.
Thank you very much, Jamilia ji. She gave us many methods. She said that conflicts leads to growth. And she also mentioned that whatever you choose, practice daily, mantra, asana, pranayama, yam niyama, be honest, non-violence, swadhyaya, and vairagya. Lots of things she suggested. It takes us back to our friend Govidoji regarding when you mentioned that if I have conflict within myself, I should go for pranayama, meditate, be in silence. At times, I have conflict with others also. And my expectations are not fulfilled by there are many people around me. Sometimes there are many injustices that are being done to me. Sometimes I go through things which I don't deserve. It leads to conflict that I have with others. How should I deal with it? What ancient wisdom talks about it?
If you have a problem with other people, then that could be a reasonable reaction, could be anger. Huh? You get very angry. This morning, for example, I used my motorbike, and there was somebody turning around in the middle of the street, and yeah, I became suddenly very angry because of him, and it's a natural reaction, I think. But you must control to learn to control your anger. That is the very important. And if you because I'm here in a foreign environment, as a German, of course, and it's clear that people are thinking different, are looking different, make everything different. Yeah. So also even the driving is sometimes different. Yeah. Or it's some ways different than what I learned in Germany. No, I went in the driving school there. And okay, so the problem is not his driving; it is my reaction. That is the problem. My anger, my fear. I have a problem and crash into in that case a tricycle. Yeah, that is a problem. So I can avoid the coming trouble, the shouting on him and whatever. Yeah, calling the police or whatever. Yeah, if I control my anger. And we come back to your first question. How can I control my emotions like anger? Yeah, with techniques like pranayama, for example. Yeah, to be silent, to read your mind, your own mind. What is going on there? Huh? And I think, what are you doing? Huh? you bring us here in danger because of your driving style. Yes, I may be right. Yeah. It could be, but it's a point of view. Yeah, in his point of view, it is correct. It is absolute normal because he's doing that all the time. I don't know. He's a professional tricycle driver. Yeah, in that case. Yeah. So what can we do?
Thank you very much.
That's only
So
an example. Yeah. Mhm.
So regarding my conflicts with others, Govindo ji mentioned that be non-reactive. Try to manage your emotions and see different point of views also. People are right from their own perspectives. That's amazing. That I'm sure must be helping people. Now, the same question to Balchi. You told acceptance, awareness, and self talk. Prioritizing can help me to manage my conflict with myself. But what are the techniques where two people can manage conflicts between themselves? Lots of expectations we have. When they get unfulfilled, I feel agitated. I worked so hard this quarter, this year, but I did not get the promotion. Or rather, the person who did not work hard got the promotion. So it is an injustice happening to me. I'm at the traffic place and the person behind me is honking unnecessary. When seeing red light, still honking. It irritates me. Over to you.
Yes. So I think, for example, for me personally, and I believe this technique works for many people, is breath work. When we have things like people honking at us on traffic or anything that happens abruptly or make us very angry, just take a few deep breaths. I believe 7 seconds are enough for us to get back to our calmer state, because from there everything else is different. Because if when we react from our our survival state, and of course we will have we might have we might say things or do things that we don't like about ourselves in the future, just a few seconds later either. So for me, breath work is the first thing. Just learn to, get in touch with our breath and really practice it and do it when necessary. That is the first step and most important thing for me. Second one is if we have a chance, like if we are indoor or in a room that we have water, after that, then we might take a sip of water, because I believe water for our physical body is also helping to bring us to balance. So, from the physical aspect, those are some of the things that we can do. And, for bigger conflicts with others, we need to also spend time to maybe learn other techniques to releasing it, through art, through exercise, through physical activities, or maybe it's also a chance for us to seek out some support, professional help, or our family support group. And we need to understand what are the root cause of these conflicts, because like I said before, it's a mirror of our internal pictures, our internal world. So maybe we need to really sit down and map out what are the sources. Maybe I have these conflicts with the boss, but the root cause actually because he always remind me of my father at home, that I feel the same feeling, emotion, when my father scolded me when I was a child, for example. So we need to go back to the root cause and resolve that, and that will help. And of course, another thing is that we need to set our boundaries and have an open communication. And from there, then the empathy can come. And when we understand the differences and we resolve the internal conflicts, then we can bring the peace out as well, to others. So that's
Thank you. Thank you, Balji. She mentioned 8 different modalities. She said, go for breath work, drink water, take support, go for art, share with somebody, exercise, take lessons, identify the root cause, and keep the communication open. Nice. Jamilia ji, what is in the basket from your side? I am having trouble in dealing with interpersonal relationship. I think people don't understand me. I think I'm not made for this world. I don't feel belonged to the people around me probably. I feel that I'm victimized. I feel that people are here to use me. And when I need, they are not there.
Okay. Um, My opinion, like when people feel like this, like you said, usually it is about that they have less energy. Not energy. If they have less energy, that's why we have such kind of feelings. So first, I think that those people need to go to the nature. It might be any nature, because nature gives us lots of good energies. The second, what I can suggest is to find people who is good people who can listen, people who can care, um, to stay with such people. In India, I know that people, you can go to your guru to ask something, or to some other high spirited person, and it is also gives you energy after. And also own practice very important. It might be like asana, like yoga. It can be also walking to 10,000 kilometers, walking on or running. It also can be acceptable to person. Yes, going, walking, it will help person to um, um, harmonize energy inside. After harmonizing this energy, for him or for her, it will be easier to find a way how to um, behave with other people. That is my opinion.
Thank you very much. Jamili ji suggested the root cause is less energy. Go to nature, be with good people, positive people, find a guru, walk 10,000 steps, do running. It may take you grounded, keep you grounded. I understand this, and I'm sure it is benefiting many people over there. Govindaji, you mentioned us to be non reactive. But what to do? Till I don't say anything in that situation when I'm angry, I don't feel peaceful. Somebody is shouting at me. How can I be non reactive? I want to give him back. Then only I will feel peaceful. I will do something. I want to speak something. They are abusing me. I can't hold my anger back. Can you tell me a quick tip at this moment of truth? What can I do to hold myself back? Some person is speaking nonsense, abusing, irritating, and I want to be non-reactive. How?
I think it's a question of your character also. Yeah, some people literally explode. Yeah, and start a big discussion and make a lot of trouble. Sometimes I'm in the mood to make that, but the other way is maybe to laugh about it, or to think of what Jesus said. Yeah, try to love your enemy. If somebody wants something from you, you give him also the next thing, no, the other mile or whatever that is. No? And also there's an ethical question. No, we have the yamas and niyamas. Maybe you can focus on that, or try to remember that. What is said here? No? Ahimsa, for example. Try to be not violent, or yeah, there's always a way, yeah, to settle that peacefully, not with weapons. Also, I live here in Mindanao, so that is a region, especially in the western part, where people often use weapons. There's sometimes shooting, or yeah, so a bit like Wild West, and yeah, also that is also a way, yeah, to settle your differences and your trouble. But it's probably better to have I don't know. There's maybe also institutional way to settle your problems. Okay, you could go to a court. So in almost every country you could do that. Or here is it's a way called barangay. That means the quarter or village or whatever. And there's so a council, and you could go there and then try to settle your problem there. No. sometimes it is
Thank you.
needed. So that is a way.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Govidoji. He rightly mentioned that laugh at your enemy, and when people are being illogical, why are you upset? Laugh at them. And he said that
Better with them, not at them. That's not so good. Yeah, with them. Yes. No, not that is wrong. Not about them. Yeah. That is, ha. He cannot drive. Ha. There. Yeah.
So
it's your
laugh
point of
with them.
view.
Nice. Thank you. I think there are many school students, when they will see it, it will be very useful for them also. When they are bullied, these things can be utilized.
Oh,
And then
yes.
he said
Yeah.
that,
Everyday
then,
problem. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and then he said that give it next day even. So that is also a good thing, that wait for 24 hours, things will settle down. And if you would like to give it next day, practice yamas and niyamas. Well, you mentioned about breath work. Maybe next 30 to 60 seconds, or maybe maximum 1.5, but 1 minute around. Would you like to teach our audience how to do that breath work you mentioned?
Yes, actually, for me, it's just a few seconds, or it's just if something happens, we just breathe in, and look at the person and just take a deep breath, hold it for a few seconds, and release. And for me, when I practice, I just look at the person. I'm trying to be, not like showing the emotion. I mean, I'm focusing on my breath, and I'm just looking at the person. And one thing is that I am talking to myself at that time, you are a part of me. So that mantra helps a lot, because I'm looking at you, I'm very angry because you say something, you did something, but I'm breathing in, you are a part of me, breathing out, I'm a part of you. You are a part of me, I'm a part of you. We are one. And just, I think 5 or 7 breaths like that, it will last less than 15 seconds, I believe. It really totally transformed my emotions about that person. So that is really something I do, and I really want, if other people can also practice. Another mantra that I say to myself is that be kind. Because when I say be kind, I'm kind to myself, but I'm also remind myself that I need to be kind to others. But the first thing is to be kind to myself, because when I say something negative, I am the person who hear it the first. So, so that is the practical work that I do.
Thank you very much, Beltran. Jamilia ji, you mentioned about the energy signs when we feel low in energy. Uh, Going to nature and being with the people of good energy. How do we know when some person has good energy or not? What is your take in that?
Good question. We can see, we check behavior of this person. It is not, we cannot understand, maybe it is in one time, in the 2 times seeing, but usually good persons in a long way term relationships there can show how they behave. We can check how this person behaves with us, with other people, with animals, with trees and everything around. It doesn't matter, can the other people give you something back or not. It should be good based on behavior. Check the behavior of this person. That's the main.
Perfect. And you also mentioned about swadhyaya, self-talk. Would you like to teach us some technique of swadhyaya, how to do it?
Okay. Of course, it is own meditation, all mantras every day. That's good to have mantra sessions starting from the day, and the end of the day also add some mantras. It's very helpful. For women, it's also good to pray about the whole family, children, husband, parents, and others. It's also good practice. um, Also, I using morning in the morning. I take the pen and paper and writing everything. Of course, I'm not good in everything good person, so I cannot to show everyone my bad things. Yes, that's why I'm writing everything, and I'm finding the way how to resolve those things, how to behave, and how to be more, little bit better, one step, little bit better next day, one step, step by step, and find new way to be better. Also, good practice is to learn or read some books like Patanjali Sutra or Bhagavad Gita. Maybe Christians they're reading Bible, Muslims they're reading Quran. It should be some scripture with already past long time, and they're already like we can find something in those books also for us, which will help us.
Thank
It's
you.
all
Thank you
about.
very much. Yes, yes. So lots of wisdom has given to us by Jamilia ji. Now the last question, it's a rapid fire quickly in 30 seconds each guest. So Govido ji, tell me one mantra that you use generally to keep yourself in a more peaceful state of mind.
Om Namo Narayanaya.
Om
That is
Namo
a
Narayana.
mantra to Vishnu, and it is said, yeah, Vishnu take care on the creation, also peace, shanti, and yeah, I can
Thank
recommend
you.
that mantra.
Yep. Yes, Bell. Tell me one mantra which you think works for you.
For me, it's like I'm the light. I am light. I'm love, and I'm wisdom.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Jamilia ji, which mantra worked for you?
Om Trayambakaya Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Babandhana Mruchur Mrukshiyamamrutat. And also Guru Mantra. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmaye Shri Gurave Namaha.
Excellent. 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 So, dear friends, we got lots of mantra from our experts and respected audience who are watching us from different parts of the world. We discussed on the theme, what are the messages of ancient wisdom that can be utilized today in our day and age to deal with conflicts which are contemporary in nature. Our friend Govido ji from Philippines mentioned that Raja Yoga is a technique. Go for pranayama, meditate, be in silence and listen to yourself. For interpersonal conflict, he said, be non-reactive, control your emotions, ability to manage your emotions, be in the silence in that situation and see different point of views also. He also mentioned that whatever you do represents your character. And when such situations happen, people are laughing at you. He said, laugh with them. And you would like to choose whatever you want to respond it next day, 24 hours. You will settle down, practice yamas and niyamas, ahimsa, satya. It will keep you rooted Identify a counselor who is ready to listen to you, and if nothing works, then Om Namo Narayana. This will always work for you. And Beltran mentioned that people have different needs and values, and when they are not addressed, they feel conflicting. The solution is raise awareness about your own nature, about situations, do yoga, accept all uncontrollable things. Acceptance is a virtue, she said. Self-talk, it will help you to prioritize things. Who matter, who doesn't, what matter, what doesn't, and things which doesn't matter should not bother you. And still, if people who matter are doing something, then she said, go for breath work. Do it for 7 seconds. Focus on your breath. And while doing breath work, inhale, hold, and exhale. And while you are holding, say, you are a part of me. I am a part of you. Bring that memory once again. I am kind to myself. I will be kind to you also. So while doing this, along with the breath work, it will work for you. Drink water. It purifies, it settles you down, it calms you down. Take support of people, it really works. Do some artwork. Share what you feel like with others. Exercise. Take lessons, identify the root cause, why it is triggering you. It doesn't trigger everybody, but it is triggering you. It means there's some root cause associated. Open the communication, don't close the communication. It will resolve things. And if nothing works, then this will always work. Say to yourself, close your eyes and say, I am the light, I am love, I am wisdom. And Jamilia ji said, conflict is the way to grow. It's rise in consciousness. Conflict leads to consciousness. Practice daily whatever you choose. Mantra, asana, pranayama, yama, niyama. Be honest, non-violent. Do self-talk, swadhyaya. And it will lead you to detachment with what is lower. Because conflict comes when you have low energy. And when you have conflict, you feel low energy. Go to nature and grab some energy. Be around good people, and then to identify good people, observe their behavior, you will understand. Identify a master that will show you the path. Walk 100, 1,000, 10,000 steps. Do running. Start your day with a mantra. End your day with a mantra. If you're too much filled within, start writing. When you write what you're feeling, it is a strong means of swadhyaya, because at least you will have one person to share your thoughts. That is you. And if nothing works, then this works. I can't chant it that elegantly and melodiously as you did, Jamilia ji. So I will again invite you to chant those 2 mantras, and then we'll close our discussion today. Over to you. Unmute and yeah, go ahead.
Let's start all together. Om Trayambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Babandhana Mrutur Mrukshiyamamruta Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmaye Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmaye Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much, respected guests from different parts of the world. We are organizing a grand event in February 2025 in Ujjain, land of yoga, land of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Yogeshwara. The event is on 14th, 15th and 16th of February. If your calendar permit, you're most welcome. India is also observing Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj at the same time. You can plan your visit like this, visit Ujjain and go to Kumbh Mela. Go to Kumbh Mela and come visit Ujjain 14th, 15th and 16th February. Govidoji, your friend, from Yoga Vidya. Sukhdev ji is also coming during that time in India. If you would like to visit him, you're most welcome. We will
Yeah,
take
that's a
you.
good idea. We met in the middle. That's a good idea, yeah.
Perfect. We will take you to the city tour of the world's one of the most ancient city of Ujjain. 14th, 15th, and 16th of September of February 2025. So plan your calendar, contact with us so that we can help you in sorting your plans. Thank you very much.
I get in a problem. How to get the money? Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you.
Geshe Nimang Sonam. In 1995, he joined Sera Monastic University to devote his life for intensive study and practice of Buddhism. He has been formally ordained by Kebze Dakpa Rinpoche and received the highest monastic ordination of Bhikshu from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Presently, he is working as a translator and a Buddhist scholar. His first book is In the Footsteps of Siddhartha, was published in 2010.
Most welcome, Geshe Nawang Sonam ji. You are a part of the family. You are elder to our family. Again, to have is a great pleasure. Your whole stage is all yours. Abundance mindset and spiritual fulfillment. Finding wealth in inner peace. Over to you.
Thank you. So, my topic is abundance mindset and spiritual fulfillment, finding wealth in inner peace. So, first of all, I would like to thank United Consciousness International for having me here. It's a pleasure always to speak on topics related to world peace, inner peace. And I'm very happy to talk about this topic because no matter whatever philosophy you may follow, whatever religious philosophy, political philosophy you may follow, after all, we are all individuals who want happiness, peace in life. We may see so many changes around the world, nations waging war against one another, but at the core of all these individuals involved in warfare, in exchange, whatever we do in life, be it good or bad, we always have in our mind an aspiration to be happy. However, the means for happiness may not the means for one's happiness depends on the mindset that one has, the kind of philosophy one has, one believes in, or one follows, and the kind of daily activities pertinent with that philosophy for the fulfillment of that philosophy, or for the fulfillment of one's aspiration. The deeds that we follow, these are very important. So, given that we all want happiness, and happiness does not come from having fights or disputes or war or conflicts. None of these are sources of happiness. Happiness basically within every individual comes from within. If your mind is happy, even if physically you are not really healthy, you'll be happy. With mental happiness, physical happiness naturally follow because our mind and body are dependent on one another. So now, as as a Buddhist practitioner, there are so many methods for inner happiness. But here, because we are talking on a global stage, so I would like to point out some philosophies that we have which can be believed universally. So now, before I speak about these philosophies, we have to accept that we all want happiness and peace. No question about that. That's natural, that's inherent. So now, given that reality, now to fulfill one's inner happiness, inner peace is important. If you are mentally agitated, there is no inner happiness. If you're mentally calm, then mental happiness follow naturally. So now mental peace depends on so many factors. External factors are there. But more than external factors, internal factor is more important for mental peace. For example, around the world, there is a constant rush for materialism. Economy is at the forefront of the agendas of the nations, politicians, and business people everywhere. It's okay to have economy without material facilities. Of course, it's very clear that we cannot survive. But at the same time, there is what we call there's a difference between our need and our desire. If we follow our desire, then nothing is enough. If we look at our need, then yes, our needs are limited. And because of that, if we know that our needs are limited and desire limitless, and then we will just follow the need, because following our desire, in the process of following our desire, we, instead of becoming happier and more peaceful, will become very agitated. We'll lose our peace of mind. And the very objective that we have been chasing, peace of mind, happiness, in pursuit of that, we might actually lose our own happiness. So the method we follow to generate inner happiness should not become the tool to create more disturbances within. So that's very important. Another thing is to follow our inner peace. What kind of philosophy is important? What kind of practice, religious practice or mantra, whatever is important. People try to do that. One thing that I think is very important, universally applicable, is the concept of interdependence. Pratita Samudipata. That's an Indian concept. In Buddhism, we use this concept to understand and the emptiness of self. Self exists, but no concrete independent self exists. Self is dependent on the combination of mind and body. Mind also dependent on other factors. Body also dependent on its parts. So there is nothing called partless or concrete on its own. This view helped in reducing of intensive clinging to oneself. And when one understands interdependence with respect to oneself, then we also understand interdependence in connection with our external worlds, people who are not us, other people, interconnected. We also understand the inner connection between nations, between individuals, between societies, between family members, between everything that exists. So the law of interdependence is common. It's something we can all observe. It's not something we have to impose based on a belief system. No, that's very clear. Everything is dependent. Now the world global stage, on a global stage, if we look, the world is highly dependent economically, politically, climatically, geographically, educationally, from every respect. The world is no more independent of one another, highly interconnected. Whatever happens on the other side of the globe will impact this side and vice versa. Because of this law of interdependence, now we cannot remain indifferent to things happening on other side of the globe, because eventually you'll be affected. So because of that, the well-being of others is one's own well-being, and one's well-being also depends on others too. So the concept of interdependence allows us for reconsideration of our differences, and sorting differences through talks. Okay, that's very important. So in this way, if interdependence is at the heart of our philosophy, based on that interdependence, when we have differences, we come to talk like humans. Okay, we are humans, not like animals. When animals have differences, the only thing that they can do is fight with one another. But we are humans, so we can talk with one another. What do you need? What I need? And so based on that, based on fairness, and based on mutual appreciation, respect for one another's needs, then accordingly we talk with one another. And so there's, because the human mind is marvelous, we can reach the moon, we can reach beyond this world. We can create so many sophisticated weapons to destroy another. If we have that kind of mental capability, then we definitely have the mental intelligence to sort our differences by having mutual consideration and respect. So that's something that I feel is very important for the peace for oneself as well as for the world at large. Then the concept of impermanence. We tend to think I'm going to be here for I've been here for the last 40, 50 years, and I'll be here for how long? So we tend to think we are going to be here on this earth forever. No, our life might end anytime. And then because everything is impermanent, because they are dependent on causes and condition. There are multiple causes and condition. So because of that, nothing is going to remain stagnant forever. If we have the concept of impermanent, particularly to oneself, one's community, everything, then we appreciate what we have, because eventually we are going to lose everything. So while we are here shortly on this globe, thinking of impermanence, we should live our life in such a way that it's useful for oneself, it's useful for others, and it's never used to destroy one another. So impermanence is actually at the heart of one's own. The concept of impermanence is the heart of one's own inner peace. We want to come to terms with this fact. That's a fact. It's impermanent, so you cannot do anything about it. But you can live this philosophy to be more compassionate to your family members, to your community members, and to your people in your own nation, and then to the international community, and also to the other inhabitants of this earth, other sentient beings. So inner peace begins with oneself, then it's spread from one to one's own family, to society, to nation, to international community. So then we tend to think our happiness comes from outside. Yes, partially, yes, but not entirely, because when we have enough to sustain us physically, food, enough roof overhead, whether we are happy or not depends on our state of mind. If we think this is not enough, we'll never be happy. If you think, yes, for my survival, this is enough. And when you have what we call being satisfied with what one has, then that actually really helps in retaining one's own peace of mind. Because if you chase your desire, it always changes. Nothing is enough. For example, nowadays everybody's buying iPhones and new phones, and companies use our desire to sell their products and so forth. So constant chasing. So what we need is happiness, peace of mind. And external material facilities, to some extent, yeah, can fulfill. But real peace comes from managing your mind. So that is associated with knowing your mind. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is my main teacher or guru, says we should first know the map of mind and then distinguish the negative emotions from the positive emotions, and then also neutral emotions. So we need to promote our positive emotions and reduce our negative emotions. If we are able to do that, that's what we call in Buddhism or Hinduism the practice of mind training. And recognizing the mental contaminants and then reducing them and promoting the conditions that bring forth peace of mind. So because mental experience is within, you have to train your mind. Training of your mind does not involve sacrificing or giving up something that is very there is no risk in doing the training of mind, because training of mind is about addressing reality and then first recognizing reality, and then based on that reality, then how to move forward, daily activities based on that given reality. So I think for real inner peace, okay, if we have the concept of interdependence, impermanence, and then also the concept of rebirth in Buddhism and Hinduism, I think it's really wonderful in a way, because then our life is not just limited to this life. We had lives in the past, we'll have life in the future. So not only we are dependent on one another in this life, we have been one another's mother and father multiple times in the past, and will be mother and father and children multiple times in the future. And so because of that, if you look at our other sentient beings in the light of having been our mothers, our brothers and sisters, there's an affinity established between oneself and another. And another thing is, if you look at them as sentient beings who want happiness and peace as much as we want, and that becomes your philosophy in your daily life, then you'll respect the needs of others. You'll never think of yourself first, put yourself ahead of others' needs. You will always consider the needs of others, while of course fulfilling your needs too. So if we have that kind of philosophy, where if you have that kind of tradition where we remain grateful for the to the existence of others in one's life, and also to the fact that we have been dependent on one another, and their happiness, their freedom is as important as one's happiness and one's and freedom. And so we are equal, and we have the equal right, equal aspiration. And now, because we have to live together on this globe, and we have to live harmoniously. Destroying one another has no benefit at all. You kill 1,000 people on this side, on that side. You destroy houses here and there. What do you get from that? Complete waste. Let's not talk about reincarnation, karma, but complete waste. Nobody wins in a war at all. Maybe one may do more damage on the other side, but damaging other side, things on the other side will not bring prosperity to one's nation. No. So because of that, I think it's very important to recognize one another's need, have the concept of interdependence, as well as the concept of impermanence, that you are going to end. Eventually, everyone leaves this world, okay? So what are kind of world we want to pass on to our new generations? They also want to be happy. Our children also want to be happy. So given this reality, okay, we may resort to many religious philosophy. That's one's individual choice. But then the concept of interdependence, samutipata, impermanence, and with these at the heart, if we practice compassion to one another, people we practice compassion on are not inanimate entities. They are sentient. They can reciprocate affection. They can understand one's sincerity. So in a spirit of friendship, frankness, transparency, if we approach one another, because we're humans, we can always sort out differences. So this is all I want to say. And if there are questions, I'm ready. Hello.
Namaste,
Namaste.
Shailaja. Thank you, Sonamji. Thank you very much for this insightful talk. You rightly mentioned that whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, but at least everybody wants to be happy in life, and that happiness comes through a proper mindset. And then you said that mindset, you brought us some practical tips to foster that happiness in ourselves. One is focus on need rather than greed, because greed is infinite. You also mentioned about law of interdependence. You said that we cannot remain indifferent from others. Their well-being is also important because we are interdependent on each other. And that's why reconciliation of differences you suggested is important. Remembrance of impermanence, anitya, leads to inner peace, and remembering that we are too temporary to have permanent problems in life. You also said that be satisfied in what you have. Count your blessings in a way. As you quoted His Holiness, know your map of mind, what are positive thoughts, neutral thoughts, and negative thoughts, and then foster positive thoughts. That you use the word, remove that mental contamination. I especially liked in these times of war when you said nobody ever wins the war. It is so profound, I think, that even United Nations will be happy to echo it in different parts of the world. And indirectly, you also mentioned that victory is only who got less destroyed, because anyways, both parties get destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure, Sonamji, that your words of wisdom will keep inspiring us in times to come. And I would like to extend from this global platform an invitation to you, if your calendar permits, do visit us on 14th, 15th, and 16th of February 2025. United Consciousness is organizing global summit, physical summit, on the same theme, International Day of Peace. So we are celebrating this whole year of peace, and the online program is a part of the main physical program also. So the online program is first step. Second step is the physical program, which will be in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh, India, on 14th, 15th, and 16th of February. We'll be very happy to host you. If you plan to visit us, let us know once your calendar permits. Most welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Keshe Nimang Sonam for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. I'm very honored and delighted to welcome our performance from the organization Play for Change. Play for Change is not only the organization, but it is a movement created to inspire and connect the world through music and break the boundaries. They reimagine a world connected by music to spread a global message of hope and unity. Playing for Change was born in 2002 as a shared vision between co-founder Mark Johnson and Whitney Kroenke. This musical journey resulted in the award-winning documentary, a cinematic discovery of street music. Today, Play for Change musical group is playing the song What a Wonderful World. And in the group we have African Children's Choir Uganda, French Children's Choir France, Grandpa Elliot USA, Hugo France, Jensen Tamba Congo, West Los Angeles Children's Choir USA.
What a see skies blue, clouds white, bright blessed days and the dark secret night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh, yes.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Play for Change musical group for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and giving such a wonderful performances. Thank On behalf of United Consciousness, I feel pleasure to invite and welcome Ms. Nivedita Raghunath Bide. She is the All India Vice President of Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari. She has written over 15 books, presented papers in national and international seminars, and given lectures in IITs and universities, including Kansas University in USA. Her responsibilities include training of Jeevan Vratis, dedicated full-time workers of Vivekananda Kendra, training of the teachers of Vivekananda Kendra Vidyalayas, and coordination of Vivekananda Kendra Institutes of Culture, Guwahati. Nivedita Didi has represented India in seminar on Swami Vivekananda conducted by ICCR in 2013 at Melbourne, Australia. She also participated in the international meeting of educational experts at Darwin, Australia, convened by UNESCO for the Asia Pacific region in 1999. So I welcome Nivedita Raghunath Bide to share her views.
Most welcome, Didi. Welcome back to the family, Didi, and we are so honored to have you to talk on environmental stewardship in ancient societies, harmony with nature for sustainable living. So all stage is yours, Didi. Pranam.
My namaskar. I am really very happy to be present in this grand, I will say, online celebration and share some views. You know, the sustainable approach towards living as well as towards nature is possible only if we have a matching or a supportive or in a way a directive or formative view of the whole existence. As many are aware that in India, the nature is not viewed as separate from human being. Actually, human being is not considered as only body-mind complex. Many times, body, mind, intellect are considered as the instruments. But the real purpose of human life is to realize that divinity which pervades everywhere. The divinity, consciousness, or energy, power, God, whatever name we may give. But it is that one thing, Ekam Sat, which exists, which pervades everything. And therefore, man is that consciousness, that Chetana, that energy, which has manifested as all this universe. So we can say that the expanded form of a man is family. The expanded form of a family, or we can say the further expanded form of a man is society, then it's nation, and then the whole existence, the whole creation. And therefore, the approach towards nature is not that it is something different from me, but it is my own extension. So, for example, a human being, he nurtures his own body, he keeps it fit, he takes care of it. So, same way, nature, the environment is my extended form, is my extended existence. And therefore, taking care of it or respecting it, loving it, nurturing it becomes a very natural way of life in ancient India, and it still continues to large extent even in present India. So, because that one pervades everywhere, strictly speaking, there is no other. Everything is only manifestation of your own inner self. And therefore, the many practices in India which are continued even today are just some practices I will just share as an example. For example, in Ayurveda, that is the branch of medicine, the practice is when you pluck any part of a plant or a tree for making medicines, first we have to pray to that tree, and then we have to tell it that we are plucking it for making medicine. So give your best in it and forgive me for plucking it. Now, when to pluck, that also is there. Night we should not pluck, because night all plants will be sleeping. So we should not disturb it. And daytime we should pluck it. But even it's not just the day or night, but which season we should pluck, whether flowers or take the roots or fruits or whatever. Even for that, there is the time. Because when the heart of a plant is full and it is in a mood to give, that time when we seek and we pluck, then its maximum medicinal qualities are present in that. So this is what it is. As such, any child in India is taught not to disturb the plants in the night. And one very interesting incident I will narrate, that how such cultural practices mold the character, the nature, the behavior of human beings. It's not utilitarian approach saying nature is required for our existence and therefore we should protect the nature. It's not the utilitarian approach, but it is the approach which comes from oneness, comes from very deepest regard to all that is, whether living or non-living. So once in one house we were sitting, and the boy there, a teenager boy, he came on his bike, with his friend. Only he had helmet to wear. The other friend did not have. And therefore, the father asked, how did you come without helmet? Because helmet is compulsory, even for a rider. So he said, yeah, what to do? We had only one helmet. So when we came, we saw the police standing in the square. So what we did, I asked the friend to get down. Then he walked and I went, crossed the square, and then I waited for him. He walked and came. And then he again got on the scooter and we came. So a law was bypassed. Then after some time, that teenager's mother, she told, Are, I had told you to pluck the leaves of tulsi plant, basil plant. So I had asked you to pluck the leaves. Did you do that? Then he said, Oh, mother, I forgot because I got delayed. And now what to do? Now it is dark. I cannot pluck it. So you see, no one is watching him. He could have told, Yes, I have plucked. He could have gone out. He could have plucked the leaves and brought it and given to mother, saying, I have kept it in my room, and anything. As he did, he maneuvered and he cheated the police and he brought his friend to the home. He could have done the same thing. But here, it was not the fear of law or police or what, but it was the inner connection with the environment. And that is what, though nobody is watching, that is what still modulated, moderated his behavior. And he did not pluck the leaves at night. So this is one thing. Or when you go to the river, when you take the bath, first we had to pray to river, then we had to promise the river, saying that I will make you minimum dirty, and then take one mug of water, first pour on your body outside on the bank, and then only enter the river. So these are all various norms. Means there are people who will cook the food but keep two rotis, that is bread, for animals, mainly cow, to eat. Then some rotis, that is the bread, will be kept to be fed to the dogs. There are many houses in India, even today, that every day they will put some grains on their terrace or in the courtyard, if courtyard is there. Or when it is summer, they will keep a bowl and keep water in that, so that the birds get adequate water to drink, because summers are very hot here. So like these practices which have survived. But it is not just the practices, it is ultimately raising the consciousness, to feel one with the nature. And therefore, uh, the certain ways which is done in India is that, the river is called as mother. She is, so Ganga is mother, Narmada is mother, or any river in a village is called as mother, because she nourishes. So whatever nourishes is mother. And she is even worshipped once in a year, twice in a year. She is worshipped on different occasions. Uh, there is one saint called Santa Tukaram. he in his composition, like that many saints composition, it is there, and the saints are followed, they are revered very highly in India. So their compositions, in that one composition, Santa Tukaram says that Vriksha Valli Amma Soyare Vanachare, that is, the trees and plants and creepers, they are my relatives. And so like that, for this I can go on giving so many examples after examples. But the first is, you really have to you establish certain practices. We have to also institutionalize these practices, so that from generation to generation this will be carried forward, and the nature will be protected. Now, to give two such examples of institutionalizing these practices, this nurturing or respecting the nature or the environment, uh, you know, uh, yajna, that is in India, yajna is considered as very important. Yajna means we offer something in the interest of the uh, deities or nature or environment. So the homam is there, and offerings are put into that in the fire. This is one type of yajna. But there is one mahayajna, that is the bigger yajna. And those mahayajnas are 5 types of mahayajnas. I will not explain all the 5 pancha mahayajnas. For example, in that one is our contribution towards our family. Then the second is towards the society. Then the third is towards the nature. The fourth is towards the nation. And the one is towards our real nature. That is the divine nature, the Brahman. So Brahma Yajna. Now, these Mahayajnas, that is the big yajnas, this pancha means 5. So these pancha Mahayajnas are to be done every day. And in that, the one yajna, which is Deva Yajna. So Deva Yajna means the various deities which preside. For example, a deity presides over the flowing river, a deity presides over the pond, a deity presides over the trees, the deity presides over the earth, and so many things. So, Deva Yajna is, one is, you have to protect the nature, and therefore no wastage of water or energy or food, or even the trees, when you have to cut, there is a there is a norm or the practice, and that is, when someone goes to cut the trees, the other nearby people, they come and they say, no, no, don't cut. Before cutting, you had to plant at least the 10 saplings in different parts, and when they grow, they take the root, only then you have to cut. So again, that person will do that. He will plant the trees, come and cut the tree. So that was the practice, which means even in our memory, that is, till recently, this was practiced. Even now, in certain villages and all, this is practiced. So we have to protect. For example, when we had to build the house, we dig the earth. So before digging, we had to pray to Mother Earth. And we had to pray to all the living beings who are staying in that patch of land. And we had to tell them that uh, please guide us to build this house properly. Please forgive us for displacing you, but please bless us that, in this house we shall live very peacefully. So like that, and Mother Earth is also worshipped. Now, because we are digging, we have to put certain precious gems, certain types of grains, and we have to replete the Mother Earth. And then only filling up that, then we have to start building the house. So this is one, that is, you protect. The second is in Deva Yajna, you had to offer something. plant the trees, you must dig the pond, and like that. So in earlier practices also, another institution, and that was Ishtapurta. Ishtapurta means you must build the ponds, you must preserve the water, or you must plant the trees. And he says one has to do before one gives up his body. So this Ishtapurta has to be done. So Deva Yajna and Ishtapurta. So to sum up, as my time is up, to sum up, the real protection of nature is possible not from utilitarian point of view, but from this feeling of oneness, that this nature is my own extension, it is my mother. And how we may take milk from mother, but we also respect her, protect her. So that is how we protect the nature. And for that, the principle is that what is in me is in nature, nature is my extended form, and therefore the feeling of oneness. Then second is various such practices. Means they are so numerous that I cannot tell. So many practices are there by which we are made aware towards the feelings of the nature, and made aware towards the divinity of the nature. So this is second. And third is it is institutionalized. That is from generation to generation. These practices go, and that is how the environment is protected. We can say that India is one of the most populous country, not now, but since the beginning. But land mass is not that great. But because of such practices, India has gone from and also the highest human population, all have of oneness. So with these words, I conclude. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, Didi. Thank you very much. During whole speech, I was praying from God that your connection should remain there throughout the talk, and God heard me because we didn't want to miss any single word that you mentioned. It is indeed not only a speech; it is a message, and I'm sure it will reach to different parts of the world from Indian civilization. As you said, that we don't consider nature as separate from us. Nature is our own extension, and taking care of nature is not for our utility, but because we are nature. So it is like taking care and respecting ourselves. And as you rightly mentioned, that it is respecting self, and it is respecting one that pervades everywhere, everything, and everything is the manifestation of that one. You also took reference of Ayurveda and saying that before we plug even a plant or a flower, we, we pray from it, we ask, and we seek forgiveness. And you also mentioned, narrated some small anecdotes which are inspiring about how we don't plug things in night. And along with that, you also mentioned the examples of how we consider river as our mata. How do we provide bread to the animals around which cohabit this planet with us? And you also mentioned about how do we respect those birds, and we provide feed and water to birds. You narrated Sant Tukaram ji so well, and five Mahayagnas, and how not only to establish these traditions, Indic system has institutionalized those practices through Panch Mahayagnas. Along with that, you also mentioned about Ishtapurtha. So nature is our mother. We are offspring of the same nature, and we are potentially divine. And everything around us, in us, is divinity. And this is probably the sustainable model India can bring to the world. Didi, we are so thankful for you that, in spite of your busy schedule, lots of travel, I can see still you are somewhere in the country. If may I ask, where are you right now?
I am in a village in Madhya Pradesh. called Hiranchipa. It is near Bina.
Okay.
Bina is
I,
one.
yes. No, I have heard about Bina and Didi. We have seen you, how much hard work you do to cultivate, to protect, to preserve, to promote this culture, tradition, and civilization. It is very inspiring. Thank you very much, Didi, for blessing us with your time.
Thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Nivedita Bhede for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing her views.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।
This shloka means, may everyone be happy, may everyone be free from all diseases, may everyone see goodness and auspiciousness in everything, may none be unhappy or distressed. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. I am highly privileged to have this opportunity to present my gratitude to all those who have witnessed and blessed this event directly or indirectly. I believe that this is not the end, but the beginning of our journeys. The journeys towards the noble cause of removing the 14 divides rooted in human race and promoting harmonious and peaceful coexistence. Firstly, I thank the God for blessing us all. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Rajesh Rabindranath of Project Self USA, Yogi Baba Adnan and Madam Kubuk of Siddha Ashram Yoga Center, Mr. Andre Reel of Nidra Yoga, Swami Suryananda Saraswati of European Yoga Federation, Mr. Sukhdev Volker-Brett of Yoga Vidya, Mr. Valdemar Parado of Yoga Yogeshmo, Ms. Patricia Begley of AAYT, Ms. Emmy Blessio of CUIDY, Ms. Valentina Cortene of African Spiritual Council, Mr. Andre Lebanau of Yoga Lam, Mr. Jos Prior of Yoga Australia, and Mr. Jos of the for your invaluable contribution and support. I'm also very thankful to Dr. Vikram Singh Tomar of United Consciousness for hosting such a beautiful program. I also thank Team United Consciousness for their valuable contributions to such a beautiful program.